We are back, episode 16 of the Paradox Podcast with my brother Jeff.
Sir,
What is going on, Jeffrey? How you feeling?
good. I am confident in what I have going on. Dealing with a lot of uh unnecessary energy right now,
Uh,
but this too shall pass. That's how I'm feeling. How are you?
right. I'm good, bro. I'm getting back to my best routine,
Mm,
which always takes a lot of slow adjustments. Um, but I'm getting there in terms of what my day-to-day is like, trying to inject it with like productivity but also rest.
yeah,
Yeah, just trying to get more out of the 24 hours we got.
I f-
But that's been on a good swing of things. So I'm
yeah,
good, bro. I can't complain. Besides the heat, I can complain about that. But besides that, Gucci. I'm good.
yeah. The heat is bringing the best and worst out of people. People just act different when the weather changes. I mean, naturally, I feel like that is natural, but
Has to be biology at this point.
yeah, it's definitely on some human mammal shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny talking about maybe I don't know if it's how the weather affects people
Mhm.
or something about summer. I don't know what we can blame it on, but we were talking about just people in general,
Yeah.
and how I relate to what we were talking about before is that everybody really moves in their own way for the betterment of the group, maybe not for the betterment of the group. Who's to say?
Yeah.
And who knows? But I feel like that's usually a very big thing. Like, how do you coalesce with people? Like, everyone has their own thing they're doing, especially when it pertains to business
Yeah.
and teamwork, and everybody's working towards the same goal. Everyone's kind of, they have to be ticking to the same beat. We all kind of have to be moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
But that's I'm not gonna say that's rare. I don't know if you would say that's rare, but I do think that is a semblance of a good team or a good group of people when everyone is on the same page,
Mhm.
everyone is transparent, clarity. And this is for something as small as, hey yo, what are we doing this Friday? Just like making a move with somebody or a group of people. Hey yo, what are we doing this Friday? Okay, cool. We said we're gonna go here. And then, if can you even do that successfully with a group of people? That's tough too, you know? But how would you like assess, let's say your experience of that recently? Cuz you can break it down. I'm gonna just sit back a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. There is no success with a dysfunctional team, a dysfunctional system. Like those are essential parts to building something, to having strong foundation and building something that lasts. And when even one person has a ulterior motive or just isn't on the same page, it messes up everything. I think that is I wouldn't say not talked about enough, but I feel like it could be talked about more, like the importance of a system, the importance of a not only a team like having extra hands, but making sure that team is aligned and working towards the same thing. Because again, one bad apple can ruin the bunch, and that is like you'll learn that lesson time and time again. And I don't think it's necessarily a lesson that like the only lesson you can learn from that is like be aware of who you're around and who you let into the group or the circle. But there's always going to be people, and people have flaws. So it's you just got to have that awareness, bro. Yeah,
Do you think patience comes into it as well? Because I think that ultimately what you said is always going to happen. Like, sadly, to a point,
Yeah.
where the team is solid. You know,
Mm,
it's like a winning team. You know what I mean? There comes a period of a couple years, maybe a golden generation, whatever. Team does really well. Like the way that team moves, how they click.
yeah.
You know, you're gonna have fewer of those bad apples. Let's just say. But all in all, I feel like there's always some work to do in terms of internal weeding out. What is that one quote? It's like hire fast or like hire slow, fire fast.
Pass. Yep.
Um, and it's just like again being very intentional about who we're bringing on board. Again, when people want something, they really can play the part. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, and then once they're in, once they get the position, the job, get in the team, then they start relaxing, you know, letting their toes out, whatever, and then they'll show a different side,
Yeah.
or maybe just show who they really are once they're comfortable. But
Like,
I think that's the tough thing about people, most people, is
yeah.
that there's two sides, or everyone's different when they don't want the thing anymore, or they already got the thing.
Yeah. And it was kind of funny. We was having this conversation with one of our partners. He's
Mhm.
much older than us, and we were talking to him about relationships, specifically romantic relationships.
Right,
And
right.
part of his talk was, you don't really know someone until you're 6 months in, a year in, and they start to really show you who they are. And that's the same with every relationship. Is yes, you do have to have patience and give people grace and understand that nobody's perfect. We're all human, but it comes a point where it's like you're deliberately sabotaging this, especially with our group. We treat each other like family, like we are all brothers and sisters. So when somebody's acting off or um not aligned, we sense energy is a little wonky. Very, very, very rarely is it us. And I'm not saying that we're perfect, but I know how we run our ship, that it's rarely an inside job. Like you have something going on and you're either refusing to talk about it, communicate that there's something off, or whatever, but it's rarely us. So that's like a it's that's the good thing about treating this business like um family. Is sometimes it can get a little, you can kind of cross, what's the word I'm looking for? Like sometimes it can be hard to mix like family and business, but then other times, specifically when you're trying to weed somebody out, that's where it comes in handy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing, you know, especially in creative fields where business is involved. I mean, I think that's all of them, but we care a lot about what we're doing, and then we care about who we're working with.
Yeah.
So almost if you're like exiling someone from the group or there's an exit, it does feel more than it is compared to maybe you leaving a job,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like, yo, there's like 98 employees, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You'll find another job. Or you know, it's not like a DIY grassroots. It's like, you know, it's like getting kicked out of like a family shop. It's like
Yep.
everybody knows each other, everyone has spent time with each other out of work settings, you know what I mean? And then now you're forced to have a very like, you know, like transparent conversation with somebody. And
Yeah.
you're like, yo, like I like you know, I rock with you, but we got deliverables or we conduct ourselves in this way. And it takes a lot of man, it takes a lot of honesty and a lot of you know, even bravery just to say to kind of like weed someone out in the first place.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, then again, that will be a source of weakness, a source of misalignment, you know. Again, it's just something that will cause further problems down
Yeah.
the road.
And
So,
it takes time too. Like there's certain members of the team that we've been together forever where we can provide that space to have an open conversation. We can throw hands when we need to throw hands and
Hmm.
be brothers after, but then there's some, people who may have spent less time. It's all about time spent. Who
Hmm.
just got onto the team, or new people, to where they haven't had that sense of openness or comfortability. They don't feel that yet. You're not supposed to feel it the second day on the job. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, to where when things come up, when problems come up, they don't feel safe to express that yet, and that's
Yeah.
where friction comes. And that's the lesson I'm learning right now, is how to provide that same open space, or communicate that there is that same safe space without the time spent. Like, that's my leadership challenge at the moment.
So when you mean without the time spent, what do you mean by that?
You don't trust me yet. Even though I'm cordial, I'm nice, I'm welcoming, you don't trust me that if you are vulnerable with me, that I won't go tell somebody else, or put your business out there, or that I won't
Okay.
be serious or laugh at you. You don't know that yet.
Like you're not, yeah, yeah, you're not like close yet because the time it takes brings together, you and the team. That's why like in sports teams they have like team dinners.
Exactly.
You
That's
know
why
what I mean?
it's like
Yeah.
yeah. So that's all it is. And again, there will always, if you're building the right business, or you're building a business that grows, you will always have new people. That's a skill that you're going to have to learn, is to be, provide that space without the time spent, but also detach a little bit. Everybody's not right for the system. No matter how much you care for them or want them to be, this is still a business. And that's why people say, like, don't do business with family, or, you know, don't mix pleasure and business and all this stuff, because it can get
Mhm.
weird. But
Yeah.
it's a choice. It's a choice on how you run your business. So,
Right. So I know personally recruiting is I wouldn't say it's difficult,
uh,
but I have made decisions in terms of recruitment and I've saw people's true nature.
mm,
And it wasn't malicious.
mm,
It's just more of a, was that the best team member I can have? You know what I mean? Or was that the best collaborator I can work with? They always say, especially in what we do, it's like work with the best, you know?
yeah,
And like work with, but I think sometimes it's like we work with the people we like. Like it's like we make that decision emotionally. And sometimes that, I think a lot of times that trumps over ability,
mm,
or craft or whatever it may be. So, it's funny. I would never say I've made mistakes recruiting people, but I would say that I started to realize, like, wow, like there are so many people out here that are really good at what they do. And sometimes I end up working with those people, and then sometimes I don't
yeah,
because that's not the metric that it's not that I don't follow that. It's like it's not real sometimes.
yeah. No, I completely get it. Yeah,
It's sometimes you're just around who you're around. Like, oh, yo, they're down. Like, so and so's with it, you know? So, like, I want to work with that. I want to work with that type of person.
yeah,
Whereas maybe the person that is the best, like crazy talented, crazy whatever, it's like, yo, I don't really have a connection with that person.
yep, yep.
So what have you learned maybe recruiting in general and like what has been like something great and then maybe like a pitfall that you've
Mm.
faced in that arena?
I love that you said that. Like, I always think a team that gets along and works well together will do better than just having a team full of star players that are really good at what they do. I will. I'm standing on that. What I've learned is time. Time is very important. Like, being in this specific business for as long as I have, I've seen the type of decisions we make when we're failing, quote unquote, and when we're succeeding. Who we
Mm-hmm.
bring on when we're failing, and who we bring on when we're succeeding. And it's a time thing. Now, of course, you have people who have been here since the business's inception. And it's just, it's a non-negotiable. Like, you are a part of this. But there are some people that were right for the time where we needed something, and then we no longer needed it, and then there were, you know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
it's such a gray area, and it's such like a, it just depends on what time you're in, or what point you're at in your business. Like I think one, the major companies are just big corporations. They've been going for years. They have a model that works. Like there's nothing really changing where you can, like, I know I need this type of person for this job. But for us, we may need something this month that we didn't need last month.
Hmm.
So it's, constant learning.
Yeah, I think that again, like what you said, our goals and priorities, some of them are like our non-negotiables, you know what I mean? Things that we want for the future, like a mission, The mission is non-negotiable, of course. But the goals and the objectives within the mission are ever evolving.
Yep.
And so that would mean the personnel would have to be ever evolving. And so it is funny when you're in a situation where you're like, okay, um, I want to grow with these people, but I also want more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I need to look for more, people to work with, or I want to work with new people. And it's really tough because you don't, especially in the creative field, I feel like a lot of us are just really talented, but it's like the way we interact with people, or it's the, can we be accountable? Can we be dependable? Can someone rely on our work on time? Can you respond back on time? Can you pull up to your engagement or your show or event on time? Be early. Fuck on time. Be early. You know what I mean? Um, and can you be consistent? Can you, just the way you show up for the opportunity you're going to get a lot out of, can you show up for just meeting up with somebody, in that same way? And I have been critical, in my world of people just, I'm gonna be real. The only reason why I think I got ahead in certain aspects is because I was just reliable. That's it. Not even anything about ability or output, just straight being reliable. And people can count on me to deliver my deliverables. And when we recruit, I feel like now that's what I'm looking for. It's like I want
Mm,
to work with this person, but I don't want to wait months for their part on this.
mm,
And I think that's tough because, again, we live in an age where a lot of people, their creative work is their side hustle.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even though it's their side hustle, they don't prioritize it.
Yep.
So, and then there's some people where it is their side hustle, but they prioritize it. And credit to them. That's amazing. And to me, that is rare. But a lot of the times, even people who have this as the main thing, you know, again, oh, I guess you're just not, sometimes you're just not the priority. And I think you learn that the hard way working with people. So I don't know what you feel about recruiting and then gauging someone's dependability and how you learn that.
I mean, again, one, it's a thing that happens over time. Like I will get to know who you are and how you work over time, not by just what you show me in a 2 week span. You could do really good in 2 weeks and start to, wean off. Um,
Yeah.
I think a downside to treating business like family is when goals aren't hit. I do take it personally. Like you not hitting your goals affects my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, bro.
It
Yeah.
Get a 9 to 5, or like a not a 9 to 5, but a regular corporate job, something like that. You not doing your work does not affect me.
Hmm.
It doesn't. But in this line of work, entrepreneurship, music, you not doing your part ruins me. It can ruin me. It can ruin my reputation. It can have me just looking wild. You know what I mean? So I that's how I think about working with family or treating my coworkers like family now is if I'm failing you on a way higher level than just pay. Like I am jeopardizing your livelihood. And hiring now, I kind of love what you said. More so hiring on who's reliable, who can do the job, not necessarily who you like and things like that. I think that's very important too. Um, I don't know yet. I feel like that's a future step in my leadership journey is figuring out who to bring on and who not to, because I still have a couple of things I need to figure out as far as um, being able to judge people a certain way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I know what I've seen that I like and I don't like, but as far as like, oh, I'm gonna bring you on the team and having a good gauge of who is right, I don't have that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, it takes time. It's like what you said. It actually just takes time. The only thing I would maybe push back on is
Mm.
that I do believe that there's something that Ray Daniels said, like the world always shows you who people are, and we just choose to look away
Yeah.
or really appreciate it, or just see someone for who they really are. And I think in this business we are emotionally driven, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and we when we look at people, there's a lot like we look at people with our hearts. I feel like sometimes, and so when we care about that person, maybe believe in that person, um, in that first week of working with them, they showed us who they were, but we attribute it to life or, da da da. Like you said, like, oh, the adrenaline, it's like people who work out only around New Year's. And
Yeah.
then by the time March comes around, they forgot where their gym pass was. But, I think there is this thing of like people show you like who they are and like where they're at. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, and back to even relationships, I realize that more and more when there are some people who are very proactive when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to being called out or being like, hey, you're doing this wrong. Or like, hey, this is what you do and I don't like that. And then there's a percentage of people that change and there's a percentage of people that don't. So it's like there's this funny thing where I'm like, yo, like why would I assume good about you when you don't move like that for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like you say you care about your career, your project that's coming out, whatever it may be, but I didn't see that from the jump. But what
Mm-hmm.
I did see was potential. You know what I mean? What I did see, like I saw something good in you, but you never saw it in yourself, and then you never moved like that.
Yeah.
But I bought into you because it was an emotional decision, and I think that's what's dangerous about, again, very fickle about the recruitment process. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I want to work with this artist. How many times have we talked about artists who are super talented, but they're like, yo, they like fighting themselves. You know what I mean? Internally, they're already like they losing the battle with themselves. So it's like, yo, they can't even what? They can't even be accountable for themselves, let alone come through for you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like you said, like this is your life. Like this is not my side hustle, you know? So if anything, I've really been it sucks, bro. I love to hang out with people from high school and college and people I just randomly meet. I'm like, yo, let's get a coffee. It's like, all right, yeah. That's, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really have time to like do that. You know what I mean? A lot of times where I end up just working with, like, I hang out with the homies I work with. For real, for real.
Yeah.
It's two birds, one stone. It all works.
Yeah.
But like back to what we said again, bro, like we really rock with the people we're working with. We would go out to lunch with them, you know? And then, hold on, something goes wrong. And now you're like, bro, I rock with you, but this is not it. Like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And again, bro, me and Amal, we talk about it a lot. Just like people come and go. That's what it is, bro. We're in a season. Not everybody's supposed to be here for this the season we're in. And I honestly, I think it's heartbreaking sometimes because what's really wrong is sometimes it's not you. It's like that person who didn't do that internal work before they met you.
Yeah.
And we kind of have to just take it on the chin and keep moving. Sometimes this shit feels like a conveyor belt of people, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like we both have a good group around us that it would take a lot for it to separate.
Because you're blessed, bro. And I've been telling you this for a long time. Because you're blessed, especially here in the DMV. Collectives is it's very few. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone is pretty much like on a solopreneur, freelancer type, and then they have seasons of collaboration,
Hmm.
seasons of teamwork, especially in what I'm doing in the world of like dance music, electronic music, where everyone's kind of like interchangeably in stuff.
Hmm.
It's like a double dutch, you know? Sometimes you're in it and then you hop out and jump in, you know? And so but you don't really have an allegiance.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's a season.
Hmm.
It is what it is, you know? But again, the deeper reasons are what interest me in that because what does that say about the people we choose to work with? What does that say about the people that we choose to have on board? And again, we was talking about this before the call, just falling out with people or people quitting or people leaving due to reasons where you're just kind of like that was avoidable.
That
Like,
was avoidable, and it could have been 10 times worse than that.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? And a lot of the stuff that people make excuses about or have gripes about is something that you're going through too. You're just choosing not to complain about it.
mm-hmm,
And I think that's what I look for in a new recruit. That's one of the things I look for is I know things are going to go wrong. I know you have a personal life, and I know everybody's personal life has something wrong with it. But are you going to be the one to communicate that you're going through something, or are you going to make excuses on why the work isn't getting done? You're never not going to have problems.
mm-hmm.
There's always going to be work to do.
That's the truth all the time.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I have learned to hate. I don't hate anything or anyone. I hate excuses. Good communication, and effort is what I respect. Like, I, yeah, I mean, I could just leave it at that. Like, I don't have any tolerance anymore for why work didn't get done. And if it didn't get done, to me, that just means it's not as important to you as it is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
We talk a lot about identity and foundations. I think the last episode was very big on foundations. Um, I just thought that those two things had a connection where a lot of times if you're set on your purpose and you understand what your priorities are, wasting people's time usually doesn't happen for those people
Hmm.
because you know why you're in the arena. I know why I'm here. I'm not gonna hit you up to fucking, we're tickling each other in the DMs. You know what I mean? We're just playing around. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
you know, why? What are we doing? What are we talking about? So again, I have to look at what makes people think it's okay. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we've almost let, I don't know, no one's let anything, but I think there's this thing of people want to be involved so bad with, I'm not gonna even say people that have motion, but just belong to something that's already moving. It's like a moving train.
Yeah.
What Double M is now, y'all are a moving train headed towards something great, you know? And so people want to be a part of that. They realize that they can't keep up, and so they get off at the next stop, you know? And I think I look at that as most things. If you can't or maybe their priorities won't allow them to stay there. Because if you don't have your priorities in check, your mind wanders, your heart wanders. You're just
Yeah.
kind of like, you know what? I don't want to be here. Even
Yeah.
though a couple stops ago, you swore that was the place for me, you know? And we talked about this last time, the distractions, the dopamine hits from other things in life,
Hmm.
the uncertainty amongst, I'm not going to even say young people, I would say all people. But again, people, I don't know if it's shiny object syndrome, the allure of being in entertainment or a creative industry, but people just think, oh yeah, it's just, we're just having fun, right? Like, we're just doing cool stuff with the homies. But it's like, yeah, we are, but this is also like our life.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there's people who prioritize that, and there's people that take it lightly and they end up getting swept up.
It's a privilege to get to that point where your work is it becomes fun and you are just chilling with the homies. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes a point where you've earned that. It is not as soon as you jump in, you're just having fun and making money. No. And I think a lot of people mistake this line of work for a field day. Like I'm just going to the studio to make beats and smoke. It's
Mm-hmm.
like this is as legit as your 9 to 5, if not more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
Even more important because
I wouldn't say more important. I just say more. It takes more. It takes more. It takes more time, more money, more sweat, more blood, more tears, more everything. It just takes more.
but not only that, but it has a longer lasting effect. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the 9 to 5 is it's almost like inputs outputs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at your role, you fulfill your duties,
Mm-hmm.
you're compensated for your effort and for your time, and that will pretty much recycle, you know, for however long you stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, there's no, it's not like you have equity in the company you're working at, unless you're like a, a like a broker or like
Yeah.
something, like certain finance jobs do that. But you're just there to fill in the time essentially. You
Right.
get paid for it. Whereas if you're really working on, we're talking about creative stuff, create your business, um, your page, whatever it may be, that that's you own that. You
Yeah.
own IP in that. You know what I mean? It's not even just you're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid forever,
Yeah.
depending on how you play it. That's why I even say, not only are you putting so much in, you get a lot out. More, in the end, as things compound, you get more.
Yeah. You get out what you put in. At a regular job, you could be, you
There,
know,
there's a ceiling. That's what I'm
yeah,
trying to say. There's a
yeah,
ceiling at a 9 to 5. If
yeah.
you're really doing the stuff we're doing, the entrepreneurial wave, building your own thing from scratch, bro, it's whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why we do have to work harder, because it's like, yo, the ball is in your court. It's whatever you want to do. And hey, with that, people land on amazing opportunities, and like, bro, you can't even like communicate. Like, you can't do yourself, do yourself right. Come through for yourself and communicate whatever is going on with you, or to say, hey, like, I can't make it today, or like, yo, a lot of things are like going on at the crib, like whatever. I can't make this and that, or like no one's gonna persecute you for going through shit in life. I don't think that's the thing. It's just that, again, like what you said, you're wasting people's time. Just say, just say. You know what I mean? Again, we want to belong to it so much. We want to attach to this thing, this moving train, that we're willing to compromise honesty,
Yeah.
to get it.
Yeah.
Um, so It's frustrating because then you have to sit with the pieces.
But I don't know, you brought up good points. Like once you notice that's happening, you yourself can speak up too. You,
Mm-hmm.
that's something, it goes both ways. Like the person going through something can speak up, but you as the person on the other end can speak up too. That's something I need to practice as well. And I guess you could say I don't take what I do as serious as I thought I was, um, as I've let people waste my time in various amounts of ways. Um, so again, I think that's like a bone built over time too, and it comes with experience. It's not something you come out of the gate knowing how to do or being aware of. But once you do, it is on you to kind of protect what you're building.
Yeah, this is like you just said, the impetus is on you to stand up for what you're building or be someone on the team that says like, "Hey, let's like analyze like relations,
Yeah,
like between how's everyone doing? Is everyone delivering the way we want them to deliver?" And I think that's why I always commend you because when you're in that type of environment, there's a lot more accountability that has to be drawn.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's not just you. You're working within a system,
hmm
you know? So if anything, your success not only depends on you, but also depends on how your teammates work with each other.
yeah,
Again, it sounds exactly like a sports team. But again, when you're a solopreneur, your success almost is determined by your recruitment. Who are the people you're hanging out with? Who are the people you putting on your project? Who are the people you're recruiting for this video? And everything starts to become almost like it's like you go through systems within a year, within a season of okay, who are the people I can work really well with? Who are the people that I can collaborate with because these are my priorities. And like you said, the mission is non-negotiable, but the priorities change.
yep.
The objectives change. So, would you say that in a team like what you're in, cuz I know it's true for me, leadership is non-negotiable in terms of I have to be the leader of my own mission. Like there's no if, ands, or buts. If anything is going to happen, I have to be the one who has a vision. Because when I bring people on board, it could be for the smallest thing. Same with the reels I've been doing, the tough lessons. People say, "Hey, I want to be a part of it. What do I do?" Why are you doing this? Even comes up, and I need answers. I mean, I have answers, but you know what I mean? Like, I need to be the one that is standing up for my mission. But for you, in a different system,
Uh,
do you think it is a leadership aspect that you really need sometimes? Or do you think it's a something, would you call it something else?
no, it's leadership. It's not only leadership within the group, different departments in the group, but it's leadership on your personal own mission. I have my own mission outside of WM Studios, but me knowing that helps me here.
Mm-hmm.
If I had no direction, of course I would just be an employee and I'd be following somebody else's vision or helping somebody complete their mission. But I think it is important for everybody on a team to have their own um, dream or goal that they are working towards. And you kind of work together to build something that serves everyone instead of trying to do it by yourself. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, it's again, it's a lot of awareness at play. The
Mm-hmm.
more I think about it, to actually be in a good team, because if you have no awareness, man, the people that are messing up on the team, you're just kind of like, should I say something? Nah, they doing all right. I rock with them. You know what I mean? Or it's so much easier to let things slide because you let things slide for yourself.
Mm,
So how could you ever, put someone else in check when you're all over the place? And
damn.
when we in this music in this creative scene, a lot of people don't have their own stuff together. Again, this is normal. This is what growing up is. We're all in it to some degree in that. But there's a completely other dimension to that where you're not aware of it. You know what I mean? It's okay to be in it, in a mess, in a tough situation. That's being human. But when you're not aware, when there isn't a plan to get back, to get on it, and that's something you don't take seriously, what team are you about to be a part of? Not a winning one at all. And again, the creative scene is very we could be very blasé. We could be very just yeah, it's a vibe, bro. I'm just looking for the vibe. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, we can't vibe our way to success. I don't. It's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. We're gonna need a plan. Like we're gonna need a system, and we're gonna need like consistency on those two fronts.
Yeah.
And if y'all not really about it, then this is done. This is over. I don't know how long this can carry on for. Um, do you think for you is the toughest thing like finding people to get on that wave with you? Because I know you're on it, and I know the team are on it. But now you guys are always refining the system, moving parts. Um,
I feel like we found our Justice League, like we found our core that
mhm.
it'll never, that's not changing. Like that's not going anywhere. I think now it's just finding people that are down, honestly. Like we're not searching heavy for a crucial piece anymore. We have everyone we technically need. But again, if you want to grow, you do need more people. You want to expand, you by definition need more people. So I think we're just looking for more collaborations, more partnerships, more people to believe in what we're doing, not necessarily be so emotionally invested in what we're doing. Obviously, get your work done, but we're not expecting anybody to put in as much as we have. You know what I mean? So I think that's where we're at right now. Um, Transitioning from uh, our main pieces, transitioning from kind of getting all of our main pieces into just like mines. Yeah.
That's a blessed position to be in, bro.
Mm.
You know, that seems like most of the hard work is done, but at least the core, as long as the core is intact, you know, it's smooth sailing compared to what the beginning was when the core was all over you're trying to find the pieces and stuff, but
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So,
nice. So I'll say this. If there's one thing you tell to somebody else who's in your position, on what does it take to ally with the best collaborators,
mm,
what would you say is a good navigation, maybe piece of advice or something to guide another person who is in your place?
mm, it's a good question. I think the best quality somebody can have is just the ability to not give up. Like we were all at one point in the dark on how to go about what we wanted to do. We had no connections. We had no sense of anything. We were as green can be, but we never gave up. Sorry, one second.
All good, all good.
Um,
Not like we're live.
yeah, I need to tell people.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Um, find people who don't know how to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird. It's weird. A lot of us have a similar quality where even when we try to give up, we can't.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But that would be my advice. It is they don't have to be the most talented. They don't have to be the most well connected, have the most relationships, the most status, the most resources, money, anything like that. Find somebody who believes in what you're doing, has their own sense of direction, and just doesn't know how to stop, just doesn't know how to give up. And I think now where I'm at, that's the best advice I can give on that. It may be different a couple years down the line, but for right now, everyone around me who I believe will be around me years down the line, they don't know how to give up. They are, yes, they're talented. Um, they have direction. They have all these great qualities, but none of them know how to give up. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, that's profound. Um, man. Oh, I was just thinking about what I would say because I think that the relentless, just never giving up attributes probably like top three. Maybe that's top spot. So, honestly, I'll say optimism
Yeah, I'd agree.
because I don't think you want to do this miserably. Like you don't want to be like, "Oh, I don't have a team. Like I don't have anybody." But I feel like you should as 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 much as you're relentless, be optimistic.
Yeah.
Move with like I will find this person when the time is right.
Mm-hmm.
And have that awareness, there goes that word. And know that like they will come to me at a right time. And all the cool collaborators or like people that have really helped me, I never saw it coming,
That's a good point. Yeah.
So if that's the case, what makes you think that you're gonna devise a strategy to meet like a long, like a friend that will last decades? It's just like there's no way you can do that.
Yeah.
So I would say be optimistic and be hopeful as well as being relentless. And those people end up just falling on your lap.
Yeah. Nah, that's a great three. And again, you stick with those main three qualities. Even if you have no idea what you're building, you just want to share your ideas with somebody or bring somebody on board for what is to come. Those three are pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But nah, I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap for today. Episode 16 Paradox Podcast with my brother Jeff. This was great. We I'm feeling really good about this. 16. I don't know. I feel like we've done like 40. I just feel like 16.
Definitely been like 40 weeks. Like,
Yeah, like shit.
we haven't recorded every week, but again, like, the plan never really goes to plan, and that's okay. We haven't stopped.
Yeah,
That's what's most important.
exactly. That is right. So we will be back very soon. Maybe still using Zoom,
All
maybe not. We'll see how this one comes out. But yeah, that's a wrap. Until next time. Peace.
right, y'all.